Hey buddy, what's up? Ultramag64 here, and I know I've been away for a while in the analyzing scene, but I'll explain why after the video. But right now, I've got an episode to think about. So today's episode is called For the Sweetie Belle Toils, not Tolls. I thought it was Tolls. I'm stupid. So anyway, this is another really well done Luna and Philly episode. I don't know what it is with Luna and Philly's, but every time they get together, something awesome happens. And this episode is no exception. So the basic plot of this episode is Sweetie Belle has a play, asks Rarity to make a dress for her, or dresses, as it were, for her play. And Rarity does. Unfortunately, those dresses are just so darn perfect, like myself, that it outshines kind of Sweetie Belle's play. No pony remembers Sweetie Belle's play. This angers Sweetie Belle. In which case, Sweetie Belle goes and destroys Rarity's work for a client. This is the biggest problem I have with this episode. I understand that when you're mad, you can do things and not think about the consequences. And that's just part of life, I suppose, is people do things usually without thinking. And most of the time they do it without thinking of the other's consequences, because they just don't care. However, when you mess with your sister's livelihood and don't think, oh, hey, you know, this could possibly hurt her living. Like, she could possibly lose her reputation, because in the fashion industry, that's what it's all about, is your reputation. And if you lose that, then who's gonna hire you? In which case, who's going to pay your bills? Right? You still follow me here? And Sweetie Belle don't care. That's heartless. That's cold. Like, I could understand a little bit more. I still wouldn't be happy with it, but I could understand if it was, like, a side project. Like, I made this dress for fun, you know, whatever. Then, okay, that's one thing. But when you mess with your livelihood, that's really big. And I'm surprised that at least the thought didn't cross Sweetie Belle's mind until after a certain event that I will talk about, that this might have bigger implications than she first thinks. So anyway, after doing that, Sweetie Belle goes to bed and is visited by some wacky, crazy dream logic. And fortunately for her, Luna comes in to stomp out some justice. So what happens is Sweetie Belle feels like, the reason she did that is because she feels like she's living in Rarity's shadow. She feels like Rarity is so darn amazing and so perfect at everything that she can never live up to anything. She can't shine on her own accord because Rarity's just so amazing. Now, here's the thing, and I love this, that the writers had actually put this in, because who better to explain to Sweetie Belle this and show that you're awesome by yourself. You don't live in her shadow. Rarity lives and breathes for you. And who better to show this than Luna, the pony who turned into Nightmare Moon because she felt like she was in her sister's shadow. So anyway, Luna shows that Sweetie Belle's actions have big reactions. And this I actually like, because this episode has actually two lessons to learn. One is every action has a reaction. You should always think about the consequences before you act. And two, you don't have to live in some pony's shadow. Me being the black sheep of my family, I completely love this episode because I live in my younger brother's shadow. And back when I was younger, I would act out in various ways to seek attention and other things, and well, that didn't always work out in my favor. But it's good to see that Sweetie Belle learned her lesson before I did. And honestly, I mean, Sweetie Belle had the best face this whole episode. I mean, come on, how can you beat that? Although, I will say, Rarity did beat her for like 10 seconds. I will also say this, Luna has really gotten very good character development in this episode, and I feel like, even though she's not been in every episode, or majority episodes, or, you know, just about any episode, except for a few, I feel like she's gotten some really good character development, especially, I would dare say, more than Celestia, because, I mean, Luna, I can relate to Luna more than I can Celestia for some reason. I guess because, to me, Luna just feels like she doesn't act like a princess. I mean, granted, Celestia doesn't either. To be honest, Celestia really doesn't like to be treated like a princess, as we've seen in several episodes over the course of the seasons, but Luna, to me, just feels more like a regular pony with superpowers, honestly. I feel like I can relate to her more just because she's so, I almost want to say down to earth. While Celestia seems more distant, I suppose would be a better term, would be Luna feels more close to you than Celestia, because Celestia is so darn far away. She's locked in her ivory tower and never seems to come down until something bad happens. And it's interesting to see that Luna seems to get more character development than Celestia does, because honestly, Celestia is kind of the ruler of the world. I mean, granted, Luna helps, and so does Cadence, and Twilight Sparkle. But honestly, Celestia ruled for a good long time. 1,000 years. That's a long time to rule. Just saying. I think that maybe it's time we got a little bit more Celestia development. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my Luna development. I feel like, especially in this episode, she really has shown that she's gotten better at things. I mean, look at her voice, for instance. That's a nice improvement from the last time we saw her. I mean, granted, the last time we saw her was in Scootaloo's Dreams, and she talked pretty normal then. But it seems like Luna's learning to fit in her current time period, which is nice. But I do feel like we do need to see some more Celestia development, maybe even a backstory to Celestia and Luna's rise to power. Again, I've said this several times, I'd love to see it. Where is it? Maybe we'll get it in the season finale. But anyway, guys, that's about gonna do it for this episode. This episode was honestly really good. I find that, especially an episode with Luna and a filly, usually it's written really well, be it Sleepless in Ponyville or this one, For the Sweetie Belle Toils. I feel like it had some really good character development, really two great lessons that I feel like everyone should take to heart, because many people react to things very poorly, in my opinion. Most people act before they think about the repercussions of things. They say things and they don't realize once you say something you can't take it back, or once you do something you could potentially hurt someone really badly. But anyway, guys, it's about gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a fantastic day. Remember, stay brony, my ponies. Don't feed those Paris Brights, and as always, happy gaming. I'll check you guys on the other side. Bye! Alright, is everyone gone? Alright, good. So, I bet most of you hardcore Magnus fans, yes indeed, we are hardcore, are wondering, where the heck have I been? Where's my other thoughts on a lot of episodes? What happened? Well, honestly, what happened was I fell behind. And the reason for that was, It Ain't Easy Being Breezy's was complicated for me. And I was trying to think of how to wrap my thoughts around it, because I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get these things. I don't get it. So unfortunately, that took me a long time, and I still haven't put them to pen and paper yet. And so everything just snowballed after that. And honestly, I kind of needed the break, because doing these every week was starting to take its toll. I was like, okay, I'm done. So, I guess I really needed a break, and this was just my brain's way of saying, you know what, you're taking a break. I don't care. You're taking a break. And so, with that, with this episode, I am now back on track, and I'm gonna backlog everything in about a week's time. So, look forward to that. But anyway, guys, I'll check you later. Bye!
10 seconds flat, we can end this attack with these words like a roundhouse. I will kick back. Kick back.